So today I'm going to be talking about something that I get asked very, very often. I understand that the pillars of this channel were built on me dating, in particular dating fat men, dating Asian men, dating old men. I really documented what it was like to be in my mid-20s dating a plethora of different types of individuals, and what that was like in particular was, you know, in New York City. And a lot has changed since then, and one of the main questions I get asked the most often is, do you still date fat men? Do you still like Asian men? Where do you stand on the sexual spectrum? And so I guess in this video I will be telling you guys my feelings and thoughts, and you know, how attracted I am to certain types of people nowadays, because it has changed, and you know, where do I fall on the spectrum of sexuality? Who am I most attracted to? Who am I least attracted to? I feel like people care, so I'm gonna make a video about it. Let's just get this out of the way. I am biromantic. This is kind of the conclusion that I've come to, is that I am romantically interested in both men and women, but currently at this point in my life, and it changes based on several factors, including progress in therapy as well as my medication dosage. Just a lot of things play into this, but I am somewhere in between demisexual and asexual, which means that in order to be able to have sex with somebody willingly, I need to have like trust, emotional connection, all that jazz, but I don't necessarily crave and want sex. It's not something I actually think about very often. I think also a part of it has to do with the fact that I do OnlyFans, and maybe perhaps that sometimes burns me out a little bit. I think that I spend so much of my day dressed up, being sexy online, that when the cameras stop rolling and when I'm just me in my personal downtime, I kind of just don't want to have that be me. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I explain it to people like, imagine you worked at my dogs are doing weird things. Imagine if you worked at a pizza place and then you clock out and you go home. It's not like you're gonna go and make pizzas. It's not like you're gonna go eat pizza. So I think a lot of that has to do with just burnout, I think, because I do spend so much of my day in this like sexy persona that I have online. So when I'm finally disconnected from that, I just really wanna be a potato or just be whatever I want to be, which is just nothing, literally. I just want to put on my stretchy pants and watch some Netflix documentaries. And I think a lot of girls that I've talked to who do OnlyFans, who've worked in the adult industry, they all kind of say the same thing. I can't tell you how many girls I've met who are in the adult industry who are also asexual, or who also label themselves as demisexual. And for me, my entire life, it's never been about physical attraction to people. I actually don't feel that I experience physical attraction the same way other people do. I experience attraction in just a weird way, and this is why I haven't had a lot of sexual partners in my life as well, because I just have a hard time being attracted to people. I can see somebody who's classically good looking, attractive, but I won't want to have sex with them. Like, this happened time and time again when I was dating, when I was a single girl in New York City. A lot of my girlfriends were, you know, a lot more promiscuous than I was, and nothing wrong with that. I feel that, you know, sexuality and all that is meant to be explored in your 20s, and I think it's great that women can, you know, be in control of their own bodies and have sex on their own terms. But it has been difficult also because of the way that I dress, the work that I do. I get a lot of anxiety when it comes to dating, because I go into every situation thinking that the person expects sex from me because just of the way that I am online, even though I may sometimes make it clear that I'm not this way, but guys will be guys. They'll think what they want to think. So it's difficult. And then somebody who isn't very sexual and who doesn't expect sex, they still have a hard time really understanding what I do online, and oftentimes are not okay with it. So it really does make for a tricky situation as far as dating goes. And it has actually kind of scared me away from dating, because I hate having that conversation with people that like, oh, by the way, like, I'm a social media influencer. I do YouTube, I do Instagram. I'm also on TikTok. I just started a TikTok, so go follow me on there. I've been posting a ton on TikTok. It's like my new favorite social media outlet, so that's where I'll probably be posting the most. So if you guys wanna catch up with me, follow me there. But I also do this 18 and up content over on my OnlyFans. And that is where things just get really weird and awkward, you know, especially because like you wonder, oh, is that person gonna like go and like spy on me now? Is that person gonna go make an account and like look me up? And is that person gonna, you know, be freaked out? So I don't know. I think I've become too like neurotic in my head about it, which is why dating is so hard for me right now. But you know, it's all these things that I'm working through in therapy. But I guess the main question that I get is like, what's my type? What am I attracted to? And back in the day, I think like in my mid-20s, I went through this like phase where I really wanted to date like all sorts of people. I wanted to see like culturally which was the best fit. I dated a ton of like Middle Eastern men, ton. When I say date, I mean like went on dates. Like I don't mean like had relationships with. So, you know, I'd go out on dates with Middle Eastern men. I'd go out on dates with American men, Jewish men. I'd go out on dates with Asian, all sorts of Asian men, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, mostly Korean though, and I have had varying experiences with all of them. And I've also dated all different shapes and sizes. I've dated guys who were skinny, who were chubby, who were fat. I don't think I've ever dated anybody who was like morbidly obese, because I felt like maybe that would be crossing the line, because I do need somebody who takes pretty good care of themselves. And just because somebody's fat doesn't mean that they don't take care of themselves. There's plenty of people who are fat or chubby who do take good care of themselves. They're just, you know, they just like to eat, and they're maybe more genetically predisposed to gaining weight. I don't mind a dad bod. I don't mind a hefty guy. So I've dated a few bigger guys, and I never was grossed out or attracted. I was nothing. It was neither. I dated those guys because I thought that they were funny and had good personalities. And sometimes I feel that guys who can't 100% solely rely on their physical appearance to get girls will then develop really great senses of humor or personalities or intellect. And that's what makes them sexy to me as somebody who is between asexual and demisexual. But then I also feel that guys who are overweight can sometimes be really insecure about that, even though they may not show it. So they'll act like it doesn't bother them, it doesn't faze them, but you'll start to see glimpses of like insecurity, and that to me isn't attractive. So if you're a bigger guy, my biggest advice to you is like, if a girl is dating you, odds are she doesn't care about your size, but if you make it weird by like being super insecure, that's not really attractive. So I would just say embrace who you are. I have not personally dated any large men recently. I actually haven't been dating any men at all, but I guess in the future I would say, yeah, I'm open to dating a larger guy. I don't see why people completely box themselves in as far as a physical type. They're missing out on an opportunity to date somebody who might be really amazing. So I always say, keep your mind open. Just because somebody doesn't fit into your perfect mold of what a perfect person should look like doesn't mean that they're not worthy of your time. Some of the most interesting, smart, funny people I've met have been outside of the societal beauty standards. So that's my opinion on fat guys. Has it changed? I think maybe it's stayed the same. Maybe the way I'm communicating it has changed. I think I've maybe started to communicate my feelings about fat men more eloquently, as opposed to like 3 years ago. I think I was just like, yo, I like fat dudes. And as far as Asian guys, this is another one I get all the time, because I did make a ton of videos back in the day about my attraction to Asian men, and some would even say that it was a bit of a fetish. And I think at the time it kind of could have fallen into that category of a fetish, because there was a specific time in LA that I was actively seeking out just Asian men. I did date a Filipino man briefly, and I'd been out on dates with a lot of different Asian men. And I will say one thing about Korean, Japanese men that is something that stands out and makes them more desirable to Western women, is that they are just so polite, and they do treat women much more gently and respectfully than men of this Western culture. And as a girl who is not a very like sexual person, I do prefer to be with somebody who's not as aggressive. But you know, that is also a broad general statement. A lot of like Korean, Japanese men who've moved to the United States and are like, you know, second generation, they are more Americanized. So there's a huge difference with that. But if you were to date somebody who is from whatever country, then yeah, you'll see a huge difference in the way that they treat women. I mean, I remember when I dated a Filipino man, I went to a Filipino restaurant with him and I saw at the table the woman was eating and the husband was taking care of all the kids and feeding them. And my date showed me that like this is normal. It's a lot more chivalrous in their society. So I thought that was really nice. But sometimes what I've noticed is that that can look very, very nice and pleasant surface level, but when you kind of dig down deep to the root of that, maybe there's like an element of toxicity. And I know that there's also infidelity that is not talked about in some of those cultures. Like I said, I don't experience attraction the way that I used to. I've changed a lot over the years. I have been on a lot of different medications which have changed my hormonal balance in my body, which has changed the way I perceive partners and my sex life and my body. So it's pretty complex, you know, it's a crazy algorithm that I don't think I can ever solve. And based off of like going to therapy, I don't think they can solve it either. It's one of those things that you just need to come to peace with, knowing that it's never going to be 100% easy, and just don't put pressure on yourself to feel a certain way about people. Just let it happen naturally, because a part of the problem is like feeling pressure, because once I feel pressure in a situation, I begin to shut down, because I have had traumatic experiences in my life that were associated with a person pressuring me and making me feel obligated. And whenever you are in a romantic sexual situation where you feel like you don't have the power to say no, then it can traumatize you. I'm traumatized from a lot of previous sexual experiences. And so yeah, I kind of just wanted to come on today and talk to you guys about that, let you know how I'm feeling, let you know where I stand. Am I still attracted to fat guys? Am I still attracted to Asian men? Am I still attracted to women? Who am I attracted to? I mean, I think I've answered everything in this video, but let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of people have watched me and messaged me and said that they also feel the same way and that they feel less alone listening to me, because they thought that they were some kind of weirdo for being this way. But I can assure you, you're not. It's pretty normal. You know, not everybody is just the same. Sexuality and attraction is not black and white. There's so much gray area. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure to go check out my TikTok, my OnlyFans, and my Instagram. All three will be linked in the description box below, and make sure to leave me a like, a comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.